Hello everyone, this is Editing Jake here. I just want to say that we lost some footage. So this episode 5 that we have in this episode is really going to be your guys' episode 2 for the season. So we apologize for that, but Ricky and I have gone forth with looking at this as a positive challenge. And we've already recouped and got a bunch of videos pretty much registered, ready for you guys that should come out throughout the year. So just look forward to that. And we hope that you guys enjoy the video. This is a good one. We've got some new stuff in it for you. So yeah, enjoy the episode, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Hello everyone, welcome to the Middleton Nytetime Broadcast Season 2, Episode 5, Retail. That's being recorded on New Year's Eve. That's
Nice.
weird. This is the last episode being recorded in 2022.
Wow, yeah, I didn't even think about that shit.
Wow, ooh, that's weird. So that means the next time we record will be the first actual episode of the year you guys are watching all these pre-recorded episodes on. But yes, also, big change that you guys are probably seeing. Ricky and I look different.
We've always looked this way. What are you talking about?
You can't pull that with them this time because they have all the previous episodes.
Damn it.
Yeah, can't pull that fast card this time.
At least on my end, I've looked like this for about 4 months, but you wouldn't know that unless you checked out my channel.
Which again,
yeah.
links down below.
Yeah, I don't expect everyone to, so they're probably like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then, let alone the person next to me.
Yeah.
Care to explain your new character?
Yeah, so, for anyone who doesn't know, Reset, the character that you guys have seen for, like, the first 4 episodes, he is, like, in my personal story, was me. He did represent me, like, my own little weird self-insert into my story. But, as time has gone on, I felt like he's more a character, and I've never put myself, with, like, most of my colors, actual, like, all the colors you guys see, minus my hair, is basically swatched from me. Also the eyes, but you know, not all humans can have red eyes. So, yes, this new character, this character is Jacob Caden. Kitsune.
Hi, Jacob.
I know. Jacob was gonna be my full name, so technically I guess Jake still fits for a nickname. But yeah, so this is who you're gonna see. And to be fair, these PNG tubers are kind of fillers for the final, whenever we get around to doing that, is making a VTuber for me. So we're gonna get around to that. Stuff's too busy though. A lot of people are like, you know, going through holidays, going through stuff. It's real busy. So I thought, why not for the time being, until we find the time to actually, you know, make a proper VTuber on my end, I have this. So yeah, I guess really that's my icebreaker, is like, I've literally just been doing this, getting back into artwork, and I'm high. So, yeah.
What a way to start the year.
I know.
Jake's high and becoming a virtual VTuber. I've technically been one for a month now. Prior to that, I was PNG tuber for a while.
I think
we're gonna get you hooked up.
I think what's so funny too is that, like, when you think about like when you finally took the hardcore dip into streaming, when you started KO stuff, and it's just spiraled into. If you guys missed Ricky's last stream, he played the Grinch. What an awful fucking game.
I got pretty far, all things considered.
You did, but the entire time it was just all of us ripping on this game and also talking about buff Grinch with a fat ass.
Yeah, we're talking about buff Grinch with a big dodonkadonk. We talked about weed, I think, as well.
Yes.
I don't remember what else.
We also talked about
it was a wild.
I think I cut this out in the final version, but Ricky and I did talk about bad dragon stuff.
Oh shit! I wonder if I did cut that out. I don't know.
It's fine. They won't know exactly. That's left to their imagination, you naughties.
Oh, yeah.
But
if we had a Patreon, we'd put that up uncensored. But you know, we need more people, so.
Hey, if you guys want to help, Ricky and I have like a What would you say? Probably like our soft goal of 200 people on the channel.
I think that'd be a good amount. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? If we hit 200 subscribers, I'll open a Patreon, and you guys might get to see like a fully uncensored version. So yeah. But I guess we'll get into it. So we're talking about retail. Now, why are we talking about this? Well, before the pandemic, retail was already, kind of nuts. You had your Karens and your Kens that you'd say no to, and they're like, well, do it anyway. Or they would say give me your manager. And then sometimes the manager would be like, oh, great, I gotta kiss their ass and give them what they want. Or the other thing of they would kiss ass and give them what they want, or it'd be like, nah, that's our rules. And like, I'm gonna give you guys a bad review on Google Maps.
No, anything but that.
1-star review from one person, which, oh my god. So we're gonna dive into it, but for me, and the reason why I brought this up so much is because of a video that I saw on, the lovely Tickety Talks of a. I can play this audio, because this is basically the entire jumping off point for this episode here. Let me get it, because it's good. It's only about a minute. So, you ready?
Yes. Let's hear
We're
it.
also easily replaceable, then why are we always so short-staffed?
And that is why this new generation of workers are built differently. And on top of that, the 2-week notice is a joke at this point and shouldn't exist. And I'll tell you why. When a job says, oh, you are easily replaceable, right? That would imply that your job is easy. If you're easily replaceable, that means that the work you do is easy enough to teach anybody to do it, right? But if that's the case, how come while you're working for that job, they make it seem like your job is so important and so difficult, and we need you to come in whenever you want to take time off, or you're sick, right? Or you want to take a vacation, or it's your off day and they call you in. They make it seem like you're the only person that can do the job until you want to leave. All of a sudden, you're easily replaceable. Come here, stop that. This new generation of workers, they see right through that. They see the lack of respect. So why would they respect the company by putting in a 2-week notice? Don't worry, I'll wait. Exactly. Quit whenever you want to, and this whole entire thing is just a joke at this point.
God damn.
I mean, it's true though. I've seen. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a meme, but they actually said so I am a part of what's called I'm gonna have to censor this one word because I'm trying to be a little bit better on my swearing lately. But I'm a part of Generation Fucked, which is basically 1995 to 9/11. And we have all the emotional damage of a millennial, but we have all the baggage of being a Gen Z. So we're right in the middle of two conflicting things. But then something that's even more poisonous than my little weird time slot and yours is that the hardcore Gen Z kids don't give a rat's butt cheeks about the working world. If they don't like working at a place, gone, bye.
Yeah, they're just out.
Because at
gone.
the end of this day too, what's nuts is the fact that for a career job, which we're gonna get into that, a career job versus what I would consider still retail, is most of the time the managers and a lot of people running that building besides the general manager, 18, 20-year-olds, usually 16-year-old workers. It's really most of our big things like Walmart, Target, Food Lion, all these
The big
retail
chains.
Yeah, all of them are being run by kids essentially.
Oh yeah.
And do you really think even a manager that's probably only getting paid $12 an hour is going to write an individual report on one person during a busy day about how they left just not showing up? It's no, not gonna do that. I don't got time for that. I don't get paid enough for that. And well, now I'm in a very, very nice job. I think the one thing that I look back on, like, is the juxtaposition between a full-time position and what's tiring about that versus the war zone that is the retail world. Now that sounds dramatic, but you know, Ricky and I have done our fair share. We've been through the struggles of the retail world.
Ooh.
And
I've been in food service. I hope that counts for anything.
yeah, it does.
Oh. See,
here's the thing. In the retail world, things would not be so bad if you had adults. I'm pointing at adults for this. Primarily, like, people that are, like, would be, like, mine and Ricky's parents' age. Like, you know, like, mid-late 40s, 50s, and 60s. Let's go with that as the general demographic for this conversation.
Okay.
Those people do not know how to take no.
No, not at all. Well, because back in their day, you know, shit was different, but, like, some people, not all people, need to realize that things change over time. It's not like it was when you grew up. And that's a good thing.
And it's also, I'm gonna say this. America, specifically, because we live here. Listen very closely. The customer is not always right.
Whoa, you can't say that. Oh.
Come for me. But it's like, seriously, the customer is not always right. I got told this so many times while I worked at a lovely movie theater chain across the United States, and I don't blame them. I blame the company that, you know, now is going bankrupt, that owns them. I was told by customers over and over and over again, specifically for a door. You know, like the person that'll rip your tickets, make sure no one's going in the movie theater with, like, outside food, all that stuff. They were saying, oh, but the other person let me in with KFC. And I said, well, I'm sorry, but I ain't the other person, honey, and you need to go throw that stuff away or eat it out here, because I ain't letting you in. I would say it like that. And I was at the point in my job where I could
they might leave you a bad review.
I didn't get paid enough. I got paid $8.50 an hour.
No one fucking cares.
Yeah, it's like at this point when, like, I was working there, a lot of us would say no. And you know what was so sketchy when I got from the movie theater, I got terminated, which doesn't mean fired, so it doesn't look bad on you. But it's not getting let go. It's you're wiped from their system. You're an enigma. You didn't exist. And you know what was so sketchy about when that happened to me?
What about it?
There was a trickle-down effect of every other coworker that I was friends with there that had the same backbone I did. Terminated.
Oh.
And you know why I think they did that? Was because they got all these new, like, fresh minds and, like, people that they could pay for lower amounts of money than what we were getting paid. And I think they were getting all the new instructions, like, you can't say no, or you gotta, like, flip your way around it, or ultimately you gotta get one of the managers. Versus, like, us, where it's like, no, we can't do that, and, like, we wouldn't budge on it because we knew our job, we didn't want to lose it.
Yeah, they hired a bunch of people for cheaper that would obey their little rules. That's fucked.
And, again, when you have people who are working at an establishment, know the rules, know the checks and balances, for a customer to say, no, that's not how you do it, you do it this way. I'm like, there was a study that was done with random people in the room full of students who all were working retail jobs. And one student even brought in evidence of this. The professor of the class asked, if you could physically assault or fight a customer, how many of you in this room would do that? Every single one of the students raised their hand.
Oh my god.
And I was like, do you realize how... Let me put this into perspective, because I don't think people grasp this enough. Do you know how much a tired, minimum wage employee would, on a bad day, snap, probably grab the closest blunt weapon and beat the shit out of someone? And if they could do that and not lose their job, do you know how many of them would do that?
I'm sure everyone would.
And
Every single one of them. But I'm still blown away by it, just the fact that they'd be honest. But I mean, like, you know, we do need that honesty.
I mean, we need that honesty because so many people, you'll have like a freaking like 50-year-old mother like saying, okay, do you know how much if I could fish out of that woman, would I jump over that counter and like freaking Randy Savage like throw her down on the floor? I'd be like, yeah. I'm just putting this in perspective because we see, you know, here's the thing. You want an everyday version of those fights? Waffle House.
Yeah. Waffle House do be like that.
Because Waffle House, the people there, they don't care. They'll end up in a police cab as long as they can hit you with one of those metal chairs.
Yeah.
Do you know what would happen if Waffle House was everywhere? There'd be a lot of
like Fallout.
There'd be a lot of customers, Ricky, that would fall in line.
Yeah, no, it'd be much better off if we could just tell people no, you know, and without corporate being like, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's like let me call someone like an idiot. Let me call someone a shitlord.
A stupid bitch.
What did they say in SpongeBob? A knucklehead mixed bastard.
The dolphin noise. Just play the dolphin noise whenever I swear.
It's that swearing episode. You know, when I was younger, I didn't get that episode until I was older, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, same. I thought they just got so mad that he started like making animal noises.
Because they used, and you know what's sad? I think they made that episode because it's specifically, I think, something that's ingrained more in American culture, is they called them sentence enhancers in the episode. And I think the problem is many Americans swear a lot more than people outside of the country because that is a way to be like, no offense, forgive my language, oh shit, we fucked up, and now they are mad. Because generally, like,
it adds impact to our sentence. Come on.
Yeah, but the problem is it's, and here's the thing, when I'm in a professional workspace, I can't do that. So I have to start using like some of these more elaborate words to get by what I want to say.
Well, give us an example. Like, if you're just pissed at someone, you can't say fuck you. What's your go-to?
If I'm pissed at someone.
Like, before you storm out or something.
Usually I will, well, you know, well, nowadays, usually I say this to a lot of people, and I said this to actually some dude who did make me quite mad at my job, who's no longer on our team.
Shout out to you.
And got fired the same day. We were on a call, and the team lead came on, and he was just like, I think the dude said, completely unprofessional, he said, government name in here is going to be the downfall of your fucking team, and it's a waste of fucking space. And I said, you know all I said as I left? I said my favorite thing. I said, Alicia, make sure he has the day he deserves. And that's all I said. Because, and you know what's funny? She called me. She called me later though, and she was just like, "Was that basically you just saying fuck you, but not like in corporate?" And I said, "Mm-hmm." And she's just like,
my God.
She's just like, "I'm going to use that." And I was just like, she lets me swear with her. Like when we're doing in calls with our little team, we can, you know, kind of shoot the shit.
Yeah,
but
it's more casual.
On outward calls, we can't do that because that's unprofessional to, you know, other representatives and businesses. But it was the best thing because I honestly could have said anything I wanted to. But a lot of times I try to be the bigger person and not escalate anything. And it was fun. I think sometimes when you can leave, theoretically being the bigger person, even if sometimes you take some verbal abuse from it, it feels a lot better in the long run. But there is that sometime where you want to punch a dickhead in the dick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You
want some kind of instant
gratification.
Gratification, yeah.
Ricky, I hope this doesn't put you on blast, and you don't have to say this. What is the worst experience you had in any of your jobs, like with a customer, that you can think of?
In more recent times, it would be someone calling me up. They called us the parts department, which is also shipping. It's like 2 in 1, but they call up, ask for parts. Okay, parts. What can I get you? Well, I want these plexes, but we're basically taking the game and then we're gonna remodel it into what we want. But we also want to get like numbers. But I don't know if I want to get them or not because I don't know what they're doing. But also, like, I don't know. Can you give me a price? I'm thinking, well, okay, what game, first of all? Second of all, it sounds like you're not even sure if you want it because you feel like you're not going to use it. So do you actually want these? Do you actually want to put in an order for this? Or do you need time? And it's just
a lot of, like, indecisive.
Yeah, like, don't call me until you decide if you want the part or not. Because once it's in, it's a bitch to cancel. You know what I mean? So it's like, I hate those people. My favorite people are the ones that go in. They're like, hey, here's the part number. Here's the thing. All right, bye. Perfect. Okay, here you go. Charged, done, shipped.
That's like with a lot of things that I deal with. Since you like a lot of times, a lot of your and my work kind of goes hand in hand. I'm just usually, you're basically what would be like our OM team, which is like our organizing and management team, like the order team essentially. My end, I'm putting in all the information to like virtually send to your team in a way, and I lost this one, but I lost it.
So are you the purchasing department technically?
Kind of. Like once everything's good, we put the order in. So technically that's the purchase. But the money is given from the end user or the reseller. And then we're that bridge from like a vendor to the reseller, and the reseller talks to the customer. So we're that like weird middleman in like the inside of a triangle. Sounds confusing on paper, but in practice it makes a lot of sense. And
no, I get what you're saying.
So essentially we had we got an order in, and I had this since August when I joined my team.
The order?
Yeah. I had it since August. And they kept pushing it out and pushing it out and pushing it out. And it was because, and I kid you not, I duplicated this order basically 20 times over the course of having this order the 6 months. Because they kept fighting over quantity. And I was like, okay, I can understand for like, maybe you need more, need a little bit less after, some negotiation. But if you need to change this 20 times, you shouldn't have sent this to our vendor. You guys were not ready to bring this order in. And yeah, indecisiveness can be very bad, especially like in our departments where you need to be sure. Because a lot of times once that order goes through, if any changes happen or you keep changing it, your stuff just gets delayed.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it fucks everything up.
Yeah. Oh my god. So right now it's end of quarter for many companies. Because if you guys don't know how like a lot of the year goes, January, February, March. That's quarter one. And then, you do another 3 months, quarter 2, 3, and 4. So this is the end of quarter 4. And then we go into, the new calendar year. Because at least that's kind of like how my job works. We work via calendar year. And, so I had an order come in yesterday. And it was that one that I was freaking out about. where it was like, essentially I was freaking out because it was a multi-year quote and it was very expensive. They don't want to screw it up. And then you know what I got at 9 p.m.? They were like, oh, where's our order? I was like, oh, you guys aren't getting it today. And they're like, wait, what? And then my team lead was like, yeah, she's like sent one of my previous emails to them. And I said, yeah, this is a lot of people's end of quarter. Did you guys think that you're the only customers? I'm like, honey,
Wow.
there's a queue. I checked the queue. Do you know how many items are currently getting processed by our team? At least as of yesterday at 9 p.m.
How many?
850 items.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so I'm like, you guys gotta wait. And we told every company this. We said, do not do last minute things because you guys are most likely not going to get it. And my job closes. It's closed. It's closed till Monday. Not Monday, Tuesday, because we have Monday off. So it's like,
Bro, I just want to throw in, our job is making us work Monday.
oh really?
Yeah, so instead we had Friday off this week and we work Monday, even though no one's gonna be around to want shit on Monday because everyone's gonna be closed on Monday. So
Literally,
like,
I mean, at least that might mean that it's like worst comes to worst, you get paid for a Monday, but it's like, it's gonna be like my job this past week where I literally got nothing except on Friday. But let's talk about this, okay? For our jobs now, Ricky, would you say, I'm putting this out there, would you say there's a lot less of the abuse that comes with these jobs rather than retail?
Yeah, thank God most of my customers are on the phone. I can just give it to someone else or hang up on them if they're an asshole.
Yeah.
And then claim, oh, our phones are acting up.
Yeah.
And actually, there's this weird, like, whatever, like, friendship between the leader, like, the boss of the company and us is, like, let's say the customer's being jackasses or something, and then he calls them. He'll throw us under the bus, just like, oh, you know how they are. Anyway, what can I do to help you?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, doesn't do anything about it because he knows they're just bitching. He knows it doesn't matter. They're just asshole customers.
He does the coy play where he's like, yeah, it's basically he's dissing you on the phone, just be like, yeah, whatever. Like, he doesn't really care what you guys do. But then it's like, it makes the customer feel better. But he's just
even though he knows it's the customer's fault.
Yeah. And he's just like, what can I help you with?
Yeah.
I don't know. Ricky, what is something that you can talk about where it's like, have you ever had one of those it's just business things and like you felt bad for someone or something, but it's like, hey, that's what I gotta do.
Yeah, there's times where UPS will lose people's packages or whatever, and they're like, we didn't get that part. And I'm like, well, apparently we sent you 2 free replacements. We're not going to do it again. Sorry. And I'm like, that sucks, but like, you already got it.
Also, I wonder if
according
that's
to
like,
our system.
I wonder if like some of them have done that though, and it's like a fraud situation where they're
That's
like,
what we're feeling. It's like, all right, did you really get the part or not?
Mm-hmm. It's like, are you trying to play us to get more pieces for free? Because if you are, no. But like,
that's the business part of it. We gotta look out for ourselves too.
Yeah, I mean that's how things go. It's just like, it's what's that saying? It's a dog eat dog world, and
Dog eat dog.
Yeah.
Did you say a doggy dog?
Dude, I'm hella
like Snoop Doggy Dog world.
I'm gone. But I do think
Man,
like
it's Snoop's world and we're just living in it.
I think what's so fascinating about it though is like, for our jobs, you know what I think the one thing I will say about our jobs that is more taxing, I think, is retail is physically demanding. Like hardcore physically demanding.
Mentally too.
Oh yeah. But I think technically for my job, I can only say for mine, my job is extremely mentally draining. It's not physically. My dump truck of a butt is sitting in a chair. But like Ricky's is like, I would say Ricky's is more equal. Like half the time Ricky's fulfilling.
I run around, but a lot of the time I'm sitting lately. At least lately.
At least lately.
When it's slower.
Yeah, so it's like... But I do feel like retail is a beast, because people are like, oh, you're not lifting that much heavy stuff. Oh, you're just standing around. And I'm like, do y'all realize, like, standing on your feet 8 hours a day, even like for only getting sometimes a 15-30 minute break for an 8-hour shift, that's really hard on your legs. And I know it's hard on my shoes as well, because so when I worked at my job, I had these these anti-skid shoes. So like if there was wetness on the ground, these shoes would grip more and I wouldn't slip, so to say. Dude, when I tell you that I know I was walking around and doing a bunch of hard work on those shoes, because on the inside, the soles, you could see the actual rubber sole underneath. My heel had dug through the shoe.
I have that going on my shoes right now.
Yeah, so it's like retail is not it's like there's some
It's
retail.
not a little cushy job, you know what I mean? Like some people think it is.
That's why it's like the workers, what is it? Like so many people are like going to be like the minimum wage should start at 12. Versus some places only do like $7.50 still. I'm like, y'all, this ain't the like 80s, y'all. Like average rent for some people is $2,000.
What, tarnation?
Yeah, so if you were to
Back in
do
my day, it was only $5 to own a house.
Yeah, back when you could buy a house for 3 cents and 5 Coke tops.
You just mailed them in, you got a house.
And I'm also like in a very fruitful situation because I rent this house from my parents. So that's great because I'm saving a bunch of money. But what's crazy is the thing that I'm still gonna be in this house for 2 years. So I'm probably not gonna leave this house till 2025. Let's just say that roughly, okay? And I get an apartment. So I had to put this in perspective for my friend's younger brother who just got his first job, and he's been spending money kind of like nuts. And that's not really good because like a retail job when you're going through college and high school, it's like have fun with your money, but try not to always spend all of it. And one of the things I told him is like, hey, you should start saving some money, even if it's like let's say like for a paycheck, right? For bi-weekly, he's getting paid like I think like $300 some.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, okay, how about you put 100 of that away in like your savings account and don't touch it. Just don't. Leave it alone. Don't dip into it. Don't touch it. And I told him, kind of use that as like emergency money. Like your rainy day, you got a flat tire, something. Have that. Because I was also trying to encourage him where it's like, he's like, okay, so he asked me, what goes into like having a house? And I said, well, there goes utilities. That keeps your electricity, your water, your internet, all of that running. You have to pay for your, some places like my state, you have to pay like the state tax. You have to pay the federal tax. You have to pay property tax. You have to pay a lot of taxes, y'all. And, he was like, wow. So, would I have any money left? And I was like, yeah, you'll probably have money left, but it's going to take a lot of your money away. And if you don't pay that, well, I put it this way to not scare him. I was like, you're going to get in trouble. So...
In trouble is a light word.
I was trying to use it because I didn't want to freak him out, because he's literally 16. So,
True.
I was just like... his parents were also like, yeah, that's very true. It's like you don't want to get in trouble with like any states or stuff, because especially like we said, primarily when you grow up, you're not gonna really have anyone to help bail you out. Now, a lot of very kind people on TikTok have done that for some people in like a GoFundMe or something, but you don't want that to be something that like you would ever have to do again more than maybe once in your life if you get lucky to get that money,
Right.
So I told him, it's like, for our area, yes, it's expensive, but like if you do the grind, or you go to college like I did, and you do the job application grind, you do all this stuff, right? What is so good about this is like his parents, they're actually very young. Like my friend's parents had him very young, like in their mid-20s, and his other brother like 5 years later, so they're in their 30s now. And they're like, we're not gonna kick you guys out of the house. What we're gonna do is they had like a plan, and they're like, we're gonna let you guys stay in this house, like save up money, do all this stuff. Now my friend, he has a job better than I do. I think he gets paid like 60,000 a year. Brochacho already has like $12,000 in savings. And I'm like, make that money, bitch. Because he had a worse job than I did. So like, I worked at a movie theater. I worked in an air-controlled environment. Boy, did trash service.
Oh.
And if you've ever been like anywhere, for anyone,
It's a stinky job.
it's a stinky job. It can be very cold or very hot, because if you don't live in America, some trash trucks, now a lot of days you won't see it. Like Ricky, I don't know if in your area they have this, but in mine, a lot of our trash trucks have those, those metal arms that will pick up your trash can and like bring it all the way to the top and then dump it in.
Some of ours has that.
Yeah. Before the pandemic, we would only have trucks in Virginia where, you'd have the two guys standing on the back, holding on the back of the truck where they could stand, and then they jump off and go to either side of the neighborhood and dump the trash in, and then put them back and get back up. And then you go. That is what he did. And guys, you gotta think, they're doing that through all the elements. They're doing it in rain sometimes, they're doing it in snow, blistering hot, freezing cold. He did that grind. And retail is something that I don't think I'd ever want to go back to. I will say I'm very happy for this job, but retail is insane. And here's the thing that I do love. There's a lot of unhinged stuff that I don't like that younger people do. Don't I sound hypocritical, don't I? But there is a lot of things that I don't like that younger people do, but obviously they're kids. Look at me.
Younger.
When I was on YouTube, do you think I did the best things in the world? No. Am I happy I deleted some of those things? Very much so. But one of the things I will say, shout out to a lot of the people younger than Ricky and I with like the balls to be like, yeah, I just don't care. Because they're really putting a lot of these big, like, old boomers owning these 1% companies where it's just like, oh, they really don't care. And we're really losing people. And now they're reevaluating so much stuff because it's like...
Well, now you have to actually care about your employees. Ooh.
Yeah, you actually have to, like, validate them, make them feel like they're something. And I'm like... No, say it. Say it.
I'm just saying that you guys should have been doing that from the beginning, but here we are.
Hey, I didn't do that because I was very scared on my first job until like I was a couple years in, and I'm like, I don't care.
No, I meant like employers should care about their employees.
Oh,
they don't. So we don't.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. I think it's finally gotten to the point of equal exchange where it's like, y'all make us feel bad, okay. Fuck around and find out. And a lot of places.
Great way of putting it. Everyone has said, fuck around and find out.
It literally is fuck around and find out. And now the businesses are finding out. And you know what's so dumb? They're like, well, if you don't like flipping patties, go get a real job. And you know what people do? People with no degrees are getting office jobs, remote work. And now, guess what?
Which is mental. Literally, college degree, for the most part, it's just paper.
Yeah, like
you can get an office job as long as you have the right opportunity.
Yeah, like I mean, I won't lie. I did my college degree because I was already so far into it. It's like, why stop?
Yeah.
So I did that.
Spending that kind of money.
Yeah. So I was just like, I'm gonna finish this out. I'm gonna do this. But there are so many places now where it's just like, people are going, they're getting real jobs. And now you know what happens when you'll have like you'll have like Karen being like, why is this place so slow? It's be like, oh yeah, man, we only have like 3 people working here. And they're like, what happened to everyone else? And they're like, well, people like you told them to get real jobs. So guess what they did? They got real jobs. And now we don't really have people that want to do retail jobs until it's like the next wave of the minimum aged workers can go to start working. And then guess what they're going to do? They're going to get to like 18 or 19 and they're going to find another job. And they're going to find an office job. And when y'all tell us to get real jobs and then complain that there's no one to work restaurants, that's not millennials and Gen Z ruining the economy. That's us essentially giving the massive middle finger and being like, we got real jobs. Cry about it. I'm salty. Not at retail workers. I've been salty at, the general public for ages.
Oh yeah.
But if there's anything that I can say, you want someone though. I want to tell you this story. So, when I was working at my old job, one of the nights, it was real slow. Like, this was around the time when it was like, probably this time of year, like late December. And there were no real good movies playing. All the movies that we had that were really good that played, like, people have seen them like a couple weeks ago, all that stuff. So it was really slow. It was like a very, very, very slow midday. And we had this one girl. She always got like these really nice acrylic nails with like little like faux jewelry on it, all that stuff. This one lady came in and she pulled the race card.
Oh.
And she was saying all these false allegations. And then there's one thing. This girl and her mom had been through abuse of a father, and recently the mother divorced the father and she got all rights of the kids.
Oh fuck.
This lady insulted her mom, and you know what she did? She took her nails off, her like only 2-day-old nails, took them off with her teeth, and jumped over the counter and slugged the lady in the face.
She deserved it.
Yeah, but you know what's scary? Girl took her nails off. That means she didn't care about you. She didn't care about herself. She was gonna throw down.
Oh yeah.
She took her nails off. Now here's the thing. I'm a gay man. I know what it means when a woman takes her nails off to beat a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, God. By the way, you know what I had planned for June?
What?
June's gonna have a gay episode.
Nice.
I gotta
Pride
do
episode.
I gotta do one. I gotta do it at least once a year. I gotta have a gay episode. Depending on how the episode goes, I might have to censor a lot of stuff. But we gotta
dick balls.
We need the gay version of ass and titties. Ass and titties. But I guess, Ricky, has there ever been anything in retail for you where you're just like, because let's be hypothetical here, just for some fun. What do you think would make retail better? Because obviously we've, already, I think the worst part of retail is the customers. But what do you think would make retail overall better?
I feel like if I had that answer,
You would have
none of this other shit would be going on still, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, that's fair.
I feel like there's a lack of structure in a lot of places. You get taught and then the manager's just out for 4 months. No one knows where. It's you and 3 dudes running the whole store. So I mean, I don't know.
I feel so validated.
I'm just saying, like, usually it's 3 dudes. Heck, 2 people run our freaking Dollar Tree.
Really?
Someone had to hire them, but they're never there.
Oh my god, you know what that makes me think of? We have a, what is it? What is the place called? We have a Five Guys near my house.
Okay.
And so when the pandemic started, you weren't allowed to go in. Essentially what they would do is they had like a person. Thank God they got to sit, by the way. They had a person just sitting in a chair with one of like their tables, literally with like one of their tablet registers, just sitting there plugged in, and they were sitting there. And what they would have the customer do is just like slide their hand through the crack in the door and give them the card or the money. And they only had, I shit you not, 3 people working there because they had to. Someone was working the grill. Actually, no, it was 4 people because of the register. It was one person doing the grill, making burgers. It was the other person at the station with all the fixins and condiments. And it was someone another 6 feet away at the fries. That was it. That's all they would have.
Gosh.
Yeah, because remember, like, the whole COVID regulations of 6 feet apart?
Yeah.
And that was insane. And this one dude was probably, like, in his 60s. And was just like, God, what's taking so long? I said, sir, you're the 5th I said this because that was when I was still in, that's when I, like, was still in college. And I think I was just hangry. And I was like, sir, you're the 5th person that's come up here in the last 20 minutes. And those burgers are made fresh. Calm your shit. He shut down real fast.
Way to go.
I've gotten better at calling people out on their bullshit of when, like, just shut up. Just shut up. I don't think I know I do that with friends. But I do it less with friends because I can tell when it's like, okay, you need to calm down. But I can also be like,
I know it's not at all about friends, but with friends, I can see situations that could lead to fights that would end friendships that are just pointless. It's like, does me being right change anything? And clearly they're probably just upset. So let's just not.
Well, it's kind of like that thing I told you about yesterday, where it's just like, what I said probably years was bad, but I think I've corrected it, where it's like, like when I was talking about, like, at the heat of an argument, a lot of people will sort of say their true colors and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's because they feel attacked. It's usually when people feel attacked, they go for the throat. They're like, oh yeah, well you suck dick. It's
preach to the choir. Hello. But I've only had that happen to me 3 times. 2 of which you know about, and the third one I actually have never told you about. Sure, I'll say the third one. I won't say the person's name, but it was a friend I had before Rourke, and like him and I were virtually inseparable through like all of elementary school and middle school, because this ended at middle school. Was he I think he said, like, and at the time this wasn't that, like, as an adult it's not that bad, but as like a little kid in the drama of public school, he said, like, I think he literally called me, like, I'm gonna bleep this out, but he called me a faggot.
Oh.
Because he was pissed at me because I didn't want to come to his birthday party because my family and I already had, like, a beach trip planned for like 2 months, and he literally made the invitations like the week before his birthday. And when you're a little kid, I couldn't remember friends' birthdays. I can barely remember friends' birthdays as an adult, man. I gotta put y'all's stuff in my calendar on my phone. But he called me that, and that was like what you said, like, going for the throat. And I'm like, there was no escalation there. There was no provoking. But he was that mad to be like, I'm gonna cut you out. And you know what I did? I think that was the first time when I learned boundaries as a kid, and I was like, later, fucker. Now, obviously, I don't do that with the 2 other instances that you know about, because I love the people. They're good people. It's just, sometimes some conversations can turn into, I'm not really right, or this opinion seems stupid. And I'm like...
Where someone's literally having a mental, like... What would I call it? It's not a breakdown, but clearly something's going on and they're not thinking right, and they do not notice it yet.
They're projecting.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I actually planned to do this as an episode because I wanted to talk about projecting, which if you guys don't know, no, I'm not talking about projecting as from a projector. So if you guys don't know what projecting means, generally, projecting means like kind of like what it's saying. Like you are outwardly displaying aggression from something that has been non-disclosed. And generally, sometimes it's not even known by the person doing it. And sometimes it can lead to lashing out. Like being hangry, that is projecting. You are hungry. Your stomach kind of has that like that pain feeling like, oh, I'm hungry, I need to eat. And it makes you a little bit irritable when you have that for a long time. So you become hungry and angry, which equals hangry. And that can lead to projecting, believe it or not. It's something as simple as not eating and having a slightly unruly stomach. That can do it. Having family issues and holding that emotional weight in, and then it just takes the smallest thing and that person can light up. And so trust me, I do plan to do a projection episode, but I'm not in the best mental space to really be talking about projecting stuff. So we'll get to that.
We can hold off on that one.
Yeah, I want to think about that one more for you guys before I go into it. So trust me, that's coming. God damn it, one of my Sims started a fire. Got the Sims playing on my TV. But I guess what we'll do now is we're going to go into the cooldown topic, which I did not tell you about this one, Ricky, but the cooldown topic's actually kind of nice. And it's really kind of projected onto you. Ricky got his OP1 fixed.
Yeah, I got it fixed.
Yeah, like, a couple weeks ago, Ricky's boyfriend came down to Florida, and they managed to fix a lot of it. But what was it, like 2 or 3 keys you said that were, stuck being fucky?
Yeah, basically. So I opened it up, like I was told to, by our electronics team at work, did exactly what they said, and it broke more. So I said, fuck it. Looked around literally for a whole week, trying to find anyone that had the part I needed, which only one guy did, and he had to go and check his workshop to make sure he even had it. It was just some like repair guy. Sent it to me. It was brand spanking new, and it worked perfectly. It just took a couple seconds to install.
You know what's funny too? Is, I'll put this lightly. Ricky and I are sort of going through it right now, just personally. But
Oh yeah.
I do think this OP1 being fixed and you being able to create with it, like, completely, now undamaged OP1, I think that will be another creative outlet for you. Because, I feel like, oh no, Lexi died of fire. Oh, I'm so sad. Wow, I never thought I'd say that. But I do think that, like, and this was with Alec, it's the same reason. I think a lot of us are now a lot of the comfort things that we did during COVID, I don't think are really that good for us anymore. And we keep sort of doing the same thing. And I don't think people are like diversifying, or there a lot of things that we were doing. Like, remember how like I really didn't do artwork for like almost 2 months while I was going through like therapy and the burnout and everything. And it made me think that like a lot of us kind of lost the want or need to do like a bunch of big projects. Because for me, I was getting kind of stuck on the line art phase of so many pictures, which honestly is like the hardest part because that's composing the picture. But I was getting stuck on that and I didn't want to go past that, and I couldn't see like the bigger picture behind everything, and I really lost the drive to want to do artwork. Then when I lost the drive to want to do artwork, my drive for playing video games went up. And when that went up, when I would stop playing video games, I would get really bored really fast. And I didn't want to edit the podcast. I didn't want to do artwork. It was real bad. And that actually led to a lot of the inconsistencies that you guys saw in uploads earlier this year. So now that I've kind of refound that spark I literally forced myself to do art the first picture back. Do you know how much serotonin I got when I finished that picture and was on an artist high?
Probably felt like you were on cloud 9.
Dude, screw weed. That was amazing. And to even finish just like a picture, even if it wasn't the best, to get like your help and a lot of other people's help with how my VTuber looks now, that picture looks awesome.
Oh yeah, I love it.
So I do think, like, for you, I think now that like the OP one's fixed and you're gonna get to create with it and have that be another like back to being an additive of like all your projects and everything, I think that's gonna be fun. Because it is also always nice to see all the like aesthetic videos that you did. Like if you guys haven't seen Ricky's Instagram, especially when he got the OP one earlier this year, made like all these trippy
Many.
Yeah, like if you guys want to check them out, I'm pretty sure they're all still on your page.
Yeah, I didn't delete them.
They're all up there. Go watch them. Go listen to the music that goes with them. They are fantastic. But I think I kind of said this. Ignoring all the dumb shit that a bunch of old people are probably going to cause next year, I do hope that 2023 is people, you know, people are gonna find what they want to do, like, and refine themselves, because there was a video, another TikTok that I've been sort of religiously living by. Oh, I got it right here. I'll play this on it. Let me make sure there's no copyrighted music on it. I don't want that to happen. Yeah, okay, there's nothing. Okay, I'm gonna play this, and this is very true. Now I'm gonna say this is within reason, but I think even Ricky will agree with this one. So here we go.
We don't have time to be uncomfortable anymore. There's no reason. I've talked about it before and I will talk about it forever. Do not put yourself in situations that make you feel uncomfortable, obligated, make you feel ugly, or make you feel like you have to explain to other people why it is that you live your life the way that you live your life. If you are conducting yourself ethically and you're not hurting anyone, there's nothing more that you need to explain.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Don't surround yourself with shitty friends.
I think one of the things that I've stopped doing now, and I think a lot of you guys have seen it, when I watched the first episode of this podcast, I can feel the mask. Versus now, like, as we do this, my cadence has dropped. I don't really feel like I have to be talking super fast all the time. And after doing some editing, being able to get rid of some blank space, sometimes if there's a lot of blank space while we're thinking, I can cut that out, which is great. Because I think the thing that got me in trouble a lot was dead air was bad. Versus now, having dead air shows, oh, this person's thinking. They're choosing what they want to say wisely. But we don't get that often. Because again, if you pause, someone's going to talk over you. It's going to happen. Especially like if you're joshing with friends, it's going to happen. But I do think, like, I've dropped the mask. I don't really try to ever use it. I use it at work a little bit, but that's just because I'm kind of uncomfortable with that space. And that's just me. Like what the lovely woman said in that video was, like, great. Like, don't put yourself in spaces that are uncomfortable. But it's just, I'm uncomfortable because I'm still not used to the business world. But that's a different kind of uncomfortable. Versus, like, let's say this. Go watch Ricky's first episode of his KO stream. If Ricky had to keep that energy up 100%, this man wouldn't want to do anything besides eat, sleep, and repeat.
I mean, if I didn't also have a job, I could do it all day, I'll be honest. But, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm being within reason. We're not creators that we can live off. My god, imagine if the Middleton Nytetime Broadcast ever became enough for us to supply both of us. Like, god dang, that'd be a lot of money.
Well, I'm gonna break the illusion for anyone that likes those loud YouTubers. Like, they're always like, whoa, oh, every time they play a game. They're not like that. Not off the screen. They're probably the most chill person ever, and then they only put that on for the video because it's their brand. It's what they're known for. Just because you saw them on video do it doesn't mean they're like that in real life.
I bet that's how Jack was. and probably is
Dash
now.
EXP, but I know for sure. He's even admitted, he's like, yeah, I put on a character when I do that because it's more entertaining. Would you rather watch me scream and make a goof out of myself, or go, guess we'll go here?
Yeah, and I mean, I think why I dropped making the characters because I would rather like you guys come to this podcast and you get like the real authentic, like you're literally what I want for all of you is you're this like invisible third omniscient person in like the room with us, and we are talking to each other. And what I like about that, Ricky, is I know we had an entire like part where we talked about like safe spaces are not something that like you should rely on, but like if you come here and you're doing your homework, you're on campus or whatever, and you're listening to us, and that makes you guys feel good, I'm not gonna complain. And I think having this calmer cadence instead of like I'm gonna have to fake this so much. Oh, Ricky, I'll do this. Not a lot of you new fans are gonna get this, but hey guys, this is Jake from Mega Fracture Games here with the next episode of Blah. It's like, no, I'm not gonna talk up there. When I get excited, sure, but
no, your whole thing was, hello everybody, welcome to the
oh, it was so fast. It was so fast. That intro.
Today I'm gonna be playing episode 4.
Yeah, it was that like 2015, 2016, like you gotta have that like loud screaming grabbing hook intro, or it's like Now it's like everyone's gotten creative. Everyone does bits. Everyone does all this stuff at the beginning of an episode. And you're just like, oh, where is this going? So I guess to wrap up the last part of this chat, make this a little bit relevant to the time of this episode. We are recording on New Year's. So I thought,
Happy New Year.
I know, it's weird. We're going into the year of the rabbit, everyone. Be careful. People suspect on the year of the rabbit that a lot of babies happen.
Oh.
Because like rabbits, like,
yeah,
they make a lot of babies.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to talk about New Year's because I find this New Year's is such a weird time of year, because it's like when I was a little kid, one of the things that I always thought about whenever like we'd go into the New Year's was I was like, oh my god, like we're in the future. Like last year didn't happen. It was that weird little imaginary disconnect of like, wow,
It's
I'm
all
in the
gone.
yeah, it's like all gone. Like that stuff, we have the memories and everything, but like it's gone. And now you come into 2023 and you're like, whoa, I got all these months ahead of me. Versus now as an adult, you kind of see it as like a cycle. And in my brain on a calendar, I still imagine like this imaginary like thick black line that separates December from January. But it's kind of like, look at, how would I say this? Take a line, right? With 2 brackets on the end.
Take a line while listening to this podcast and let us know how you feel. Do a line right now. Get back to us.
Do a line off a hard dick.
And show us the video.
Oh. I still joked when you like, if I was single, it'd be like, I get the thing I got. It's like, yeah, show me. Send a video. It's like,
yeah, everything's different when you're single.
I still like the joke you made though, of like, oh yeah, the first time you tried, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, I said Jake's just gonna send an audio going, all right, guys, let's see how this. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
He's gonna love
But
it.
my brain explodes.
Oh.
I just do what Mars does, where I just scream into the void.
Ah!
But like take like a line and just put 2 brackets at the end. Put January on the left and put December all the way on the right, and that's it. That's that year, and then like it disappears. That's still like weirdly as a child still like is in my brain. Versus like a year, it's a loop, you know. But I still think metaphorically people still do what's called a New Year's resolution or resolutions. Now usually a lot of people don't keep them. Some people do. And a lot of people use their resolutions as a goal, as something to kind of like make sure that they do or wipe off their bucket list, or kind of make sure they're doing like repeatedly throughout the year. Like say like, oh, 2023, I'm gonna start going to the gym. And they do, and say like, you know, they get on a good schedule. They've kept that throughout the year. I think for me, I only gave myself one New Year's resolution that I want to try to keep. You know what that is?
Get swole.
No, but that is something that I do want to try to start doing this summer. Is once I'm there for a year, let's say if I do get a significant pay increase, I'm probably going to get a membership to my local gym. And I'm going to get advice from some of my friends about what they do for a beginner. For a beginner who's not looking to turn into some Bara-sized muscle man. Because really, I don't want
They're
that.
going to turn into a Bara muscle man. I'm just saying it right now.
It's Ricky's goal. Like, Ricky's going to pump me full of protein powder and...
Let's fucking go!
You're going to be like SpongeBob in that one episode with Gary. Where the race.
I'm going to have the inflatable arms.
I love that episode. That's an old SpongeBob episode. I think that was like one of the first like I don't know, 20 episodes.
Yeah, like season 1 definitely.
But I won't lie, I do like I like staying skinny, but I'd love to get that tone, and also I'd love to get the swimmer's body where it's like I can go to the beach in a Speedo and those abs are good. So, you know, I have my thing, but my actual like resolution for next year is it sounds kind of negative, but it isn't. It's like, you know how I like this year, like my big thing, I think a lot of things for like the past 2 years since COVID happened was really choosing my battles. Now my new one is to like, this year I'm kind of gonna focus on me, and not in like a narcissistic way, but like so much when it's come to like artwork, I've thought of my artwork, it's like, oh, I gotta keep these characters as like themselves, like as they would appear in like in my story that I still haven't put out. So it's like I couldn't make pictures, like I couldn't make Ryan an astronaut, I couldn't have Lexi be in a horror movie. It's like all this stuff. This year I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna kind of fulfill a lot of selfish wants for myself. Kind of like how, you know, I bought a $2,000 phone this year. But
yes,
like I already made the money back, and a lot of my family also like didn't ask for it, but they gave me money for Christmas. So like I've more than reimbursed myself for that. But
it all worked out.
But for my birthday in March, I'm buying myself a PlayStation 5. I'm gonna try so hard. I don't even care if I get it in white. I just want a PlayStation 5. So I'm gonna work on that. That's my next big goal. And you know what's nuts about a PlayStation 5 over a phone? Most specifically my phone. PlayStation 5 is $500 versus my phone, which was almost $2,000. But
Jesus.
But I mean, Ricky's seen how like interesting. I'll say this phone is interesting. She a thick bic. You guys want to know what phone I have? I have the Samsung Galaxy Fold 4.
So the phone's not bad either.
Oh, no, this phone's great.
You said she a thick pick. The phone's not bad either.
That was that was a good one.
I can tell went over your head. I'm like, no, you gotta hear this joke, Jake. It's fire.
I'm blonde still on the inside, y'all.
You're high. That's true.
That is true. I have the right now I have my fan on. I don't know if any of you guys can hear it, but like when I get high, I also get a little warm. So,
bro, this is like our longest episode as well, I think.
We're only on hour 12.
What? It feels like 3 hours.
So yeah.
Holy shit.
That's because I kept the pace going. But I think to like round off this episode, Ricky, not to put you on the spot, and these don't have to be things that you're gonna try to
God.
keep. Do you ever try to make New Year's resolutions, or like a
No, not really. I make goals for every year, but not on like New Year's. I just do it whenever I'm like, oh, well, I finished my goals. Here's new goals.
What was a goal that you were like super happy that you got done this year?
Having Thanksgiving with my boyfriend, and honestly breaking up one of the most toxic, codependent friendships ever. And by that I mean we both were better off without that shit.
Honestly, I will say that like I was your cheerleader for being like drop this hoe.
Yeah.
And what I like so much about it now is I like creatively for your YouTube channel what you bring to the table now.
I have years experience now, and I'm not calling anyone out when I say this, but I definitely people pleased for 5 years instead of building up my own solo stuff when I should have. Had I started 5 years ago, I probably would have been pretty well off now. But, and that's not me gassing myself up, I just mean like I wasted creative energy in somewhere else that I shouldn't have put it. Not even with one person, but other people. Like, I didn't take care of myself. I took care of others and helped them out. And now I'm in my selfish arc where I do it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's selfish either. I think it's just you've got.
I joke when I say selfish. Everyone like should take care of themselves to a degree.
Oh my god, please people. No, I mean not please people, but like guys, if you feel as if you need to try to people please, don't be in that friend group.
No.
Like, there's a difference in like, okay, I think I mentioned this one time, but it's like, it's one thing if you're having a conversation with friends and, you know, they know for sure that like a conversation or a topic or a space that you've gotten into, you're wrong in. And it's that, and educating yourself is different than being like, I gotta become a whole nother person when I'm around these people, or else they aren't going to accept me for who I am. That is putting on a mask.
Yeah.
And if you have to mask to be with people, that might not be bad on them, but that's bad for you. And then when you drop that mask around them, they think you're depressed, they think something's wrong, they think you're angry, they think whatever, because they're seeing the real you. And it's not a, what's the word? It starts with an S. It's not sustainable. So I'm happy that you don't people please anymore, and honestly half the time when like you'd pop off and be like, no, we're not gonna do that.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'm not afraid to pop off. Not anymore. I've made way more friends from cutting off that person than I would have. I know so many artist friends now. I know so many creative people. And it's not at all, oh, I'm getting something out of it. It's just like I've met friends now. I've met new people. You know what I mean? Like all these opportunities of like new things in my life is now opening up.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
And
describe it other than that.
no, I get that. I just think too, one of the things that is so interesting about you now is, I think what's like so good about you now is the fact that you've gotten to the point where you know what you want. You are making sure that like, you know, you're getting what you want, you're doing creatively what you want, but the one thing that is like, you can do that for yourself. What if it ever starts coming to the point where it becomes like narcissistic? Okay, that's bad. But you obviously don't do that, which is really good. But I think you've gotten to the point where I think the best thing is, boy, you found your boundaries.
Oh yeah.
And I think everyone's doing that now. So, again, that's why I said, like, spiritually, I think people are really going to find themselves this coming year. And since we're kind of on the, knock on wood, we're on the endemic side of COVID, where it's like it can still, screw you up if you get it, but we're going back to normal-ish. I don't think we're never gonna have what we had before 2020. We're not. That doesn't exist. Wipe that from your memory banks. But we're getting back to some form of normality, and I think one of the things that I laugh at this, but I think one of the things that when we find ourselves this coming year, I think a lot of us are going to be happier, because I think I've found myself, like, refound myself again now, and I know what I want, and it's just to have fun. It's, do things, like, have fun. Like, that's literally, it's why I bought myself a pen. So I'm like, I want to live. For so long, I've been so scared to live, because I kind of do the thing of, if you start to enjoy the money you have, it's gonna disappear. And that's valid, but I'm trying to just enjoy life, because I'll be honest, I said this in the first episode, I was so scared that we were going to have some stuff happen because of a crazy demented man on the other side of the world. But now I'm like, what's going to happen if that does happen and I didn't live? I didn't have fun. So now I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to do stuff with you, trying to go nuts, trying to have some fun for myself, a little bit of alcohol, and live. So 2023, I think spiritually is going to be the year that people find themselves, have some fun, do what they gotta do. And also, for all of my young folks out there, please keep being chaotic to retail jobs, because y'all doing the God's work out there. So, yeah, but I don't know, Ricky, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up this crazy episode of revamped models, retail, and New Year's?
Well, I promise you that the next episode will be way more lively. I'm sorry if we sound tired.
It's been not.
It's definitely been a year.
Yeah, and again, like, we're going through it, but we did want to record this weekend and give you guys one more episode in the year of 2022. Plus, we wanted to show off our models to you all before we go into the new year. So we will see you guys next time. I don't know what we're going to be doing for episode 6, truly, because I need to think about some stuff. But trust me, next episode will definitely be a lot more lively. It's New Year's. Right now, a lot of Americans are lethargic. We're tired. We want to do stuff, and I'm also high. So
yeah, that explains a lot.
Oh my god, that explains so much. But we will see you guys next time with episode 6, which, if I do this right, this will be the first episode of March. So episode 6 will be your second one that you guys get in March. So yeah, but have a good oh wait, no, I gotta do the outro. Okay, let me do this. If you guys like this episode, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. All of Ricky's links are down below and at the end card of this video. Please go subscribe to him so you'll know when he goes live. And don't forget, we also take commenters suggested topics. So if you guys want to leave us something, the only thing that we will say is we don't take anything on politics, religion, or money. We will not talk about those. So if you guys want to leave us any topic conversations besides that, please post them down below in the comment section. I will read them and I'll consider some of them for future episodes. So we will see you guys next time with episode 6. Bye-bye, y'all.
Yeah. Bye-bye.